Dominique Foxworth, you always have a delightful way of sitting back, absorbing everything everyone says, and then distilling it down to something simple.
So sexy. Hey. We all talk trash about our coworkers every now and then. Sorry, Jeff. I'ma fight somebody. I want to win as much as the next guy, but I ain't gonna take my booty for you. I know I look young, but I'm not that young. Aaron Rodgers can't be the deodorant if he comes in smelling like ayahuasca-induced vomit. At some point, the Jets might just jet in, right?
Nobody has doper opens than Dominique Foxworth. It is time for What Does D. Fox Say? I got hard-hitting questions for you. All right, you ready? Here we go. After watching Week 1, I have this question. Did the departure of Ben Johnson mean the Detroit Lions Super Bowl window is now closed?
Absolutely not. Like, I think what we saw was kind of ugly to start the season, but it's one game, and I trust in the culture that Dan Campbell has built there and the talent that they have. Like, it's not as if all their good players left. I know you're losing Frank Ragnow, destabilized the inside of that offensive line, and it looked like they couldn't run the ball in Week 1. Yeah, Jeff, centers matter a little bit, but I think that it all comes together, and they're going to be able to run the ball and have an effective offense.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So here's the reason I asked the question. Traeger, I need you to make me feel better, because they asked me for my preseason Super Bowl prediction, and I picked the Bills over the Lions. And my thinking was, everyone's forgetting about the Lions. They've been the best team the last couple of years, and now everyone is forgetting about them. And then I watched Week 1, and I'm begging for a mulligan. You tell me that everything there is still going to be okay.
I don't think it's going to be all okay, Greeny. I don't. I honestly, I looked at that team, and it was inept on offense. You know that Jared Goff threw 30 different pass completions, and he averaged 3.3 yards from scrimmage on those.
Yeah.
This was the lowest pass attempt rate, like as far as yardage traveled for him all his career since his rookie season. It looked inept. It looked anemic. And to the Fox's point, and to Jeff Saturday's point, Frank Ragnow was a huge, huge piece, but so are the other two guards that they're replacing. So I am worried. I am really concerned. And before the season started, I make a prediction. I didn't have the Lions making the playoffs, and I felt the wrath of Lions fans. I'm sorry, I got to see this thing turn up because that is not a sustainable option.
Jeff, we saw it against Micah, and maybe that was just a day when the Packers were going to kill anybody that they played because of all the emotion, the acquisition, the crowd going crazy, and everything else. If it doesn't look a lot better against the Bears this week, will it be panic time?
Absolutely. And I think it's panic time because what Schrags is saying about the internal portion of the offensive line, but the mentality, right? I mean, how long does Dan Campbell go with John Morton calling plays if you're averaging 2 yards running and 3 yards passing? And and last year, that's the antithesis, right? Everything was explosive plays down the field. You're trying to go make those things happen. When I look at the Detroit Lions, it's all about physicality and presence. That did not show up. Well, win or lose, that better show up next week. Otherwise, you are in significant trouble.
Jahmyr Gibbs set the worst record I've ever heard of in my entire life. No player has ever had fewer yards on 10 receptions in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
He caught 10 passes. No one had ever caught 10 passes for fewer yards than Jahmyr freaking Gibbs, who's the most explosive player in the whole league, Lewis.
Yeah. They got to get him going. They got to get Jameson Williams going. They got to get Amon-Ra going. And because I'll tell you this, if John Morton doesn't get him going, Dan Campbell will be calling plays here very soon, or Mark Brunell or someone else. Yeah. It won't stay like that. It won't stay like that.
The fact that their longest gain was 16 yards is just, this is week in and week out, the explosive plays. But I also think about the amount of times I've covered them against the 49ers in the playoffs, collapse. Against Washington, collapse. And you're looking at their Super Bowl window, and everybody thought, oh, the brain drain, they were expecting it. I don't know. It's only week 1. I don't want to overreact, but there are questions in Detroit.
Big at Chicago this week. It feels like a huge game. Neek, back to you for question number 2. Rex Ryan was sitting here the other day saying Travis Hunter needs to play corner. He needs to be out there playing corner, especially this week against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Should Travis Hunter play corner this week rather than wide receiver? Nate?
I would say no as a reaction to last week. If that was the plan always, which was an understandable plan to play more corner against 2 really great receivers, then go for it. But I don't want it to be a reaction to what we saw last week. And I didn't love everything that happened last week. You've got to get Travis Hunter in a position to make plays offensively and allow him to impact the team defensively. But it's not time to blow up the idea of the both sides of the ball athlete. I think it's time to regroup and figure out how you can give him a chance to be effective on both sides of the ball. And somebody guarding Jamar Chase would be helpful. I don't know if Travis
He barely played on defense. And what did you think of the way they used him offensively?
Yeah, they use him like he's Deebo Samuel.
Yes,
why are you using him in the Hornets' nest like that, running all of these slants and bubble screens and rocket screens where you got people just pursuing him inside out and just putting the Rydell on him like that all the time. Get him in some space, man, where he can actually use his athleticism. That is a slightly built young man, and I'll tell you this. You can go ahead and mess around with Jamar and T if you want and say, nah, we don't need him on that side of the ball. When they start bringing up that scoreboard like a damn slot machine, they'll be putting him over there a little bit more then.
Let's go, Lou.
Yeah.
Well, that feels like the question to me. If he can be a corner, if not this week, then when? You're going up against. I know that the Cincinnati did not look good last week.
Right.
But if you're not going to put him on Jamar Chase, who are you going to put?
No,
him on?
I agree with that. I think you play him on corner more than 6 snaps last week.
Correct.
He'll play it, but I do think also what Lou and Fox is saying, play some receiver too, but get him outside. Let those be explosive plays to kind of flip the mentality. Go defense more this week and less offense.
You get a sense of this, Peter. Rex was sitting here the other day saying, "There's no way in the world you can make a full impact on both sides of the ball. It's not possible." And so, what you're going to do this way, I'm going to use his words, and I apologize. You're going to get yourself an average-ass receiver and an average-ass corner. That's what he said. If you try and have him do both things.
Who you traded up and gave up a future first-round pick and drafted second overall for. I think they're going to use him on both sides of the field. And if you look at the post-game locker room celebration, Shad Khan is looking at his new coach, Liam Cohen. It's like, we are back and we are here forever. And it's almost like you went on a first date with a girl and you're like, I love you.
Right.
They are so excited in Jacksonville. And this guy is the new face of the team. They're going to use him. And they might not use him as much as you want on one side of the ball. You're going to see a lot of Travis Hunter.
Was he watching the same game I was watching?
He loved it. He was so excited.
Things have been so. But here's the thing: the reason they traded up for him is because they need playmakers on both sides of the ball,
Absolutely.
particularly on offense for Trevor Lawrence, though.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's just that, look, man, if you're going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, you think Jamar and T are going to have that kind of game again?
Right.
I mean, come on now. You better put him over there.
So who's scoring points for the Jags? Do you not want him to also?
The point is, you.
I want
For sure,
him more on
but-
defense this week.
This week.
And that would be cool if they can be flexible enough to
Exactly.
change
That's
it.
what
they
playing
should do.
both sides
Exactly.
should
That's
mean.
what's pretty
Some
good.
weeks you do one and some
That's
weeks
right.
you do the other. Nick, I'm going to give you a victory lap on the last one because you have been calling for this one for a while. Is Daniel Jones going to be the next cast-off quarterback to find enormous success, yes or no?
Yes, and I think you might have just introduced a new segment, Greeny Victory Lap. I might run around this whole damn studio because I was right. You know what I said? I was the first one. And Daniel Jones and that the Colts would be good. I told y'all a long time ago. I said the O-line was good. I said the receivers were good. I said the running back was good. I said the defense was much improved. And I said that they will win their division. Now y'all tell me how damn right I was. I'm old.
Daniel Jones. How's the Colts? That's your team.
Yeah.
Are they for real?
Absolutely. Absolutely, they're for real. And I think to his point, Daniel Jones, the way he looked after half a year, whatever it was when he was in Minnesota and now under Steichen, he looked fantastic. He was very composed. They execute. I mean, they scored every drive. Was that going to happen? No. But this team is built and they have players and positions around that can be effective, and I agree with him.
All right, I got to leave it there for the moment. Up against the end of it now, we are so jam-packed this morning. But
The run took too long.
As we took too long, old man.